man, we need hoes in here.
Man.
This is what I need. I need next time, Schmidt. I don't mean to be too much of a complainer, but next time, can I get some hoes?
Yeah, you just have to tell us in advance because everybody else to this point has brought their own hose.
Oh, God.
So Rick Ingram and Eleanor bring their own hoes.
They got mad hose.
Okay.
And different area codes, I've heard.
That's not what you heard. You didn't hear that. you didn't hear that. Because there's a couch in here.
Yeah, that's true. There's prime hoe seating material.
Yeah, it's like I need some bitches to listen to this shit that we finna talk about.
And just kind of been uninterested in texting throughout the whole thing. But they're
yeah,
here.
but they're here. I don't need them to. No, I don't want them to. I want them to be uninterested.
Right.
I want them to be hoes.
Right.
I want them to be just happy that they're at the comedy store.
In the daytime.
Yes.
In the basement.
Yes. You get hoes, Ehsan.
I think so. I like basements a lot.
Yeah, buddy. Oh man. All right. I watched. That was a long movie I watched today, buddy.
Man, I can't believe you watched the entire Titanic before we came
I
here.
watched the entire Titanic today. It was good. It's probably the 30,000th time I've seen it, and it still fucking holds up. It's an incredible film, man.
Man, how many times have you seen it?
30,000 times.
Really? It's been
Bro,
like...
I've seen that movie because I like. Well, this is what happens, yo. So when I was a kid, the Titanic came. I don't know if you remember. You know this because Ehsan has not seen the Titanic.
Never seen it. No idea what happens in it. Well, I have a vague idea.
He
But
has not seen the Titanic. And when I was a kid, Titanic was on VHS, and it came in motherfucking 2 VHS tapes. So I used to watch the first VHS tape because the first VHS tape was just what happens in the first part. Like the second VHS tape is a horror movie.
Right.
The first VHS tape is Titanic.
Okay.
And so that I used to just watch the first one all the time, and then I watched the second one with when my friends would come over because show I was a man.
Right.
And I can handle.
They could handle a boat crash.
I can handle the second part of Titanic. Well, so yeah, so you know about the boat crash.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware that the boat goes down.
But do you know that from the movie? I have a question. Did you learn that from the movie, or did you learn that from just history?
I learned that from history.
Like you learned that in the classroom that there was the huge ship called the Titanic. And
Yeah, or I read something. It sounds like something I would have read.
You read like it's one of the biggest man-made ships at the time. And it sunk.
It was just unsinkable. And then, like some sort of kid's book about history, and that was in it.
That was in a kid's book?
I mean, yeah, they have stuff like that. The Titanic is like a big moment.
Yeah, it was at the time.
I mean, it still is. They made a movie on it.
Yeah. It wouldn't be, if it happened today, bro, that shit would not be big news. It'd be big news for like, what, a day and a half?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It would
news.
just be a long list of tragedies. Just fit in right in the middle of that.
Yeah, that's so what. Yeah, it's going to be no movies later. How are they going to make movies like this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just another thing.
It's just another motherfucking thing. But this movie, my friend, was fucking incredible. All right, Ehsan, what do you think happens in the movie The Titanic?
All right, so I did once see the first, 10 minutes of it. So I have, I kind of know, okay, the first scenes, it starts off, they're in the modern world, and there's, a guy who's, I don't know, exploring it, the wreckage or some shit, and he finds, a necklace. There's a necklace involved, and then he's like, I wonder whose necklace this is. And then they, wheel in this really old woman. Right?
Yo, what the fuck?
He wheels in this old woman, and she's like, that's my necklace. And that turns out to be Kate Winslet's character. I think that's Rose, right? That's old Rose. And then she's like, well, what's the story behind it or some shit? And then thus begins the longest flashback of all time. It's like a 3-hour flashback. That's what the movie is. I know that. I don't know much out. Okay, what I do, because you told me, the reason why this all started is you told me there was a suicide in the movie, in the beginning-ish, and I had no idea about that. And you said it was an important suicide, which makes sense. I doubt they would show an unrelated suicide in the movie. But if
this is so funny to hear what your perspective, because it's like you're so wrong. You're you're kind of it's like you watched a little bit of it when you were 10, and then no one else ever told you about it ever. No one even brought up that the Titanic was a thing.
No,
that's how you. But it's funny. Yeah, it's funny because the beginning is right. It's funny. The beginning is you're accurate.
Okay, and then so the guy who commits suicide, no idea who he is. If I had to guess, he's the guy who spots icebergs on the ship. If that's my guess. And he's I don't know. At some point, Jack is I need to get to America, and he wins tickets in a card game or something. He wins and then he's I'm gonna be on the Titanic, and then he's just sort of around the Titanic, and then he sees Rose, who's like I believe she's like super rich, and she comes from like this rich family, and Jack is poor, and I assume her like she's like, oh, my life is all set, because she's probably supposed to marry some kind of rich guy, and she's like, oh no, my life is all planned for me, and who am I? And she has this like freak out or like mental like, oh, what kind of person am I? Which if I'm right about that, I think I'm gonna connect with Rose the most this entire movie. It's just feeling like the life is predestined and you have no idea what's going on. And so she romances this poor dude for a while, and then they have a couple iconic scenes, and then the boat crashes, or the boat hits the iceberg because the guy killed himself.
Yeah.
And then she lets him sink into the ocean. Literally ending their relationship and figuratively showing that sometimes class differences are too hard to overcome.
Okay. You are. It's funny. Yes. Yes. Absolutely yes. But let me tell you what I saw.
All right.
This morning.
All right. Tell me about the Titanic, Deric.
Okay. So you're right. It does start motherfucking present day. With the nigga from Edge of Tomorrow and Twister, him.
Oh, that's Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
I've never seen Twister, but I know Bill Paxton's in it. That's the only thing I know about Twister.
Bill Paxton, he's got an earring. He's got the Michael Jordan earring that lets you know it's the 90s. They got to let you know it's the Michael Jordan era of time. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga is hunting for, like you said, the necklace, the heart of the ocean. He does not find it.
Oh.
He does not find the heart of the ocean. What he does find is a drawing. I'm sorry. He finds a drawing of a naked rose. Young naked rose. Right?
That's the famous painting. That's the famous scene.
He finds the famous drawing of her.
That scene is why my parents never let me watch it.
Because of the naked scene.
Because there could have been boobs in it.
Yo, there were titties in it, and they're incredible, and they were the first pair of titties I've ever seen in my entire life.
Man, and
shout out to Kate Winslet, dog.
And that's why my parents wouldn't let me watch the entire movie.
Hey, bro, Kate Winslet titties go hard, man. I wish she'd have showed them as Steve Jobs. I mean, it wouldn't have fit the character, but they'd have been some nice Kate Winslet titties.
Maybe Jobs would have calmed down.
He would have. He might have. Hey, you should have showed him them titties instead of trying to make him focus on his daughter. Let that nigga do science and show them titties, Kate. But look, so. Young Kate, he finds a drawing, right? And the dude, he opens the safe. Billy Paxton guy, he finds the safe, right? And he opens it, and then like all this slush comes out because they think like they had a big celebratory moment, like they thought they found the diamond, right? And then he finds the painting, and then he's mad. He's mad as hell. And then they put it on TV, that they found this painting. And then I swear to God, like while they put it on TV, this is the first picture you see of old Rose. She's just doing like pottery. She's just doing old lady shit.
Yeah,
they were like, look how old this bitch is.
Yeah.
Like she's like so old. She's so old, she's doing pottery. And then she sees the painting and she freaks out and she's like, turn that up. And then she calls him, and the Billy Paxton dude, he's about to go down into the ocean like for another deep sea dive to find the thing. And then they're like, hey Bill, you're gonna want to take this call. And he's like, no, bro, don't you see the motherfucking submarine? That's what he's like, don't you see the motherfucking submarines, dog? Yeah. And then they're like, hey Bill, you want this call? And he's like, God damn it. And he takes off his thing and he walks over and he goes, hello. And they're like, you want to talk up? She's old. And he's like, this fucking old bitch. And he goes, hi, I'm such and such. And she goes, have you found the heart of the ocean yet? And he's like, what? Who are you talking to? Have you found the woman in the painting? And then he goes, okay, lady, you got my attention. Who are you? And then she goes, the woman in the painting is me. Yeah. And then it's like a big da-da, and then like a big helicopter scene, right? Because then like it's the next day and she's flying into present day Titanic, like not now time. She's flying in the 90s. And then they get to the ship and they get her to the story and they're like, hey, tell us a story. Come on, we want to hear the story. And she's like, oh, I want some coffee first,
And she's in a wheelchair, right?
She's definitely in a wheelchair.
I remember that for whatever reason. I remember that she's in a wheelchair.
She can walk, but we'll get
she's
there.
She's one of those people.
We'll get there, dog. Let this little lady live. So she's getting wheeled around. She's been through a lot, and she's going. Trust me, dog. This bitch finna go through some shit.
Oh God.
You want to be wheeled around after dealing with Billy Zane for a while.
No idea who that is.
You finna find out about Billy Zane, my nigga. Billy Zane don't fuck around in this movie. So they take her into like this place like where all, like the painting is, and then they're looking at it, and then she's like kind of reminiscing, having like little flashbacks and shit, and then she they ask her, like they show her how the ship went down, like this animated version of like what their idea of the ship went down, like, and apparently it went down like so. They scientifically told her, like, so it went, like, it hit the iceberg and little holes in the bottom. Ding, 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 ding. That's what the guy says. Ding, 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 ding. And then he's, like, cussing and shit. And he's like, and so, and then it finally starts sinking. The lower part sinks first. And then eventually, like, it just keeps slowing like this. And then it raises the ass up. And then it gets to a point where that bitch breaks like this. This shit breaks. Yeah. And then it goes like this, bro. And then it kind of holds together for a little bit. And then this part comes all the way up straight. Yeah. And then this part falls down. And then this part kind of stays in the air for a little while. And then that part falls down, right?
Right.
All this shit's important to know, okay? You don't know, but all this shit is like, it comes very crucial later.
I was like, what? This is very specific.
So the motherfucking thing goes down, like, and she's like, and then they tell her all that,
and she's like, that's not how it happened.
No, she goes, that's how it happened, but I remember a little differently. She was like, it was a little more real when I did it, because of course she saw like 5,000 people. But he did it in like this claymation version, like, and so she's like, and they're like, oh, can you tell us what happened, Rose? And then she goes, I remember, like, she goes, she goes, it's been 84 years, and then he goes, just. God, oh bitch, whatever. He goes, whatever you can fucking remember. And she goes, do you want to hear the story or not, Bill Paxton? And then he goes, I want to hear. And she goes, it's been 84 years, and I can still smell the wet paint. The china hasn't been used yet.
Oh man, it just gets you to go on this emotional ride.
She goes, a lot of people called it something, but I called it the ship of dreams, and it was. It really was. And then the movie starts, dog, and it's like a big Titanic, thing, and then it flashes back. That's what we're talking about. Then it's a flashback, bro.
All right, so now the flashback at the beginning.
It's officially flashback time. They cut to...
This old lady knows how to paint a picture.
Yo, she gets the just started, dog. Yeah. So here we go. We are now in the 20s?
1910s? I don't. We should have probably looked that up.
I should have looked that shit up, man. I think they say it. They say the time, but it's hard to... I don't know, nigga. It was high. But it was good. So they cut to, and this is what happens, bro. The ship's being packed. Everyone's waving goodbye, right? And you see the main character roll up in a rich-ass car. You see Billy Zane. Billy Zane is the fiance. His name is Cal.
Okay, so he's Rose's fiance.
He's Rose's fiance. He's the dude you was talking about,
so
the rich nigga.
So he's like a rich guy, and like he's probably like set up for the future, right? Like he's gonna be a success.
He's a Pittsburgh something tycoon. He's some kind of tycoon. This is when they had tycoons. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. This is tycoon time.
This is during tycoon. This is when niggas.
A lot of top hats, a lot of curly mustaches.
Yo, bro, so many top hats, so many mustaches, a lot of brandies.
Oh,
a lot of smoke rooms. You know what I'm saying? A lot of misogyny.
Oh, I mean, thank God.
Yeah, right. A lot of misogyny. They were letting the women know what time it was. It was Titanic time.
It was Titanic time.
Shut your ass up. So she gets in there, and you see Rose, and they cut to, like, Billy Zane gets out the car, and then you see Rose get out the car with the fancy hat, you know what I'm saying? And this big, beautiful shot of Kate Winslet. You see her mama get out, which is also a main character, and you see Cal's number 2. His assistant hitman.
Okay.
This nigga's important. This nigga. Remember how I told you I seen the movie 30,000 times, but I saw some shit today that I never noticed before.
Yeah.
Bro, the assistant was doing shit. I was like, yo, this nigga was fucking up everything.
Like he was getting his hands dirty. Like what was?
He's the guy's dirty man. He was like he's a bad dude. He's a bad dude. But he was doing so much shit. The nigga was doing, he was doing a lot of shit. And so Rose gets out the thing, and she is immediately hating. Rose is like, oh, it doesn't look that big and all that.
Oh, so she's like entitled.
She's just mad, bro. She's entitled. She's a little entitled. She's a little bratty. But I mean, watching the movie today, it's like, man, this bitch is just mad, bro. She hates this nigga. You know
okay, so she doesn't like him.
She don't like this nigga.
She's just engaged to him.
She's engaged. She don't like Billy Zane. I get it, but you gonna not like Billy Zane by the end of this movie. You like Billy Zane whack as fuck, bro. By the end of this movie.
Okay.
But my girlfriend Sam was crying her ass off today just for 30 minutes of dealing with Billy Zane.
Really, Billy Zane's like that.
Billy Zane had her. She's like fucking Billy Zane, bro. Billy Zane ain't shit in this movie,
he don't know romance.
Yeah. So there's a line right in the beginning of the movie where she says, somebody goes, I think I heard that this ship's unsinkable. And I swear to God, that's when the fiance says the classic line, even God himself couldn't sink this ship.
Oh, you gotta have that.
I paused the movie, nigga, 20 minutes in. 20 minutes in, you challenging. 20 minutes, you go challenge a guy. It's a 3-hour movie, but 20 minutes in, you challenge a guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga, okay.
That's like when you say like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So
foreshadowing.
Exactly.
I assumed there was gonna be a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah. So then you find out like everybody's telling it like, oh, bro, Rose, everybody's kind of like they pan back and Rose is like, everybody's seeing it as this dream ship and they're showing all the rich people, right? And then she says, but I saw it. I swear to God, she says, I saw it as a slave ship. She said, I saw it as because she didn't want to marry the dude, and I get that. That's like slavery,
Right,
in her
emotional slavery. That's what she thought.
in her head, this was emotional slavery.
Were there any black people in the movie?
Hey, relax, nigga. Of course not. What you doing, dog? We're talking about Titanic. We ain't talking about barbershop. Relax. We'll get there. Okay, black people. So cut to bam. We deal with that. Now the next scene is we meet our other main character, motherfucking Jack Dawson, dog. Leo, baby.
Right.
And he wins the motherfucking shit in a poker game.
Does he cheat in the poker game?
No, he wins it straight up.
Oh, really?
He acts like he's not gonna win. He plays it like because you also meet his best friend, this dude named Fabrizio, who only has a couple scenes in the movie.
Right.
But it's Fabrizio's life. It doesn't end well in this movie. So Fabrizio is like, he goes like, Fabrizio's like, Jack. He's also Italian. Fabrizio's like, Jack, this is all Armani. And then Jack's like, play it cool, Fabrizio. And he was
and
like,
Jack's American, right?
Jack's American as fuck. I don't know. But you just find out Jack's like a wanderer.
Right.
So Jack, they're also both 19. I don't know if you know this.
No,
Kate Winslet and Jack, they're like 18. They're both young. This nigga might be 17, and she's like 18 and like 20.
That makes sense. That's like marrying age.
They're absolutely kids. But the tycoon niggas, Billy Zane's probably like 20, our age.
Okay.
26, 27, maybe 30s. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little money, but he's still young, rich. So they win the tickets, and then they're like, hey, we're going to America, and they're all happy, and then the guy goes, in another class line, the guy goes, nobody, Titanic goes to America in 5 minutes, and the Leo like, what? And it's like a like one of those things, and they're running, and it's a lot of chase scenes. I also didn't realize, bro, this movie has like 15 chase scenes.
Wait, they're being chased while they're running to the
No, but that's how they just, because it's like a 5 minute, like a cut to, like, are they going to make it?
So it is a race.
It's a race scene. That's what I mean, a race scene. You know what I'm saying?
And then like they have to like dodge over shit. And
jumping over shit, and they're running through, and then they get to the thing, and then the guy's
Do they slide under something just as it closes?
No, they
don't.
they have to jump over something. Like, so they get to the bridge, and like it's pulling away, and the guy goes like, we have tickets, and the guy's like, American? Did you go through customs? He's like, yeah, we went through customs, and we're American. Look at us, and it's like one dude's like, not at me.
He's wearing an Italian flag.
Yeah, he was like wearing soccer cleats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the guy's like, and he lets them on, right, and they get on, fool.
Such a different time.
And it sails off. The ship sails off. So that's how it starts. Now they're on the Titanic, fool. And then they introduce really important. You know who Kathy Bates is?
I know of Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Yeah. She's in a lot of Misery, a lot of big movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I know who she is.
They introduce her. Her character is like kind of a crucial, just like the assistant, like.
Right.
Kind of a crucial character. You know what I'm saying? She's apparently like this old rich lady, and but they don't show much about it. They just show her. They just let you know, like, hey, look at this. Like, like when they show somebody in a movie,
she's gonna come into play later.
They just pan on them too long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they're just like, all right, look at Kathy Bates. Y'all see her? Okay. y'all got that she's gonna be in this? Yes. Y'all got it. All right, let's move on.
Good foreshadowing. I guess.
Exactly. And then they fucking like. They do the whole the next scene is like Jack. They finally get on the boat, and then he takes Fabrizio to the front of the boat, and then the classic, I'm the king of the world.
He does that with Fabrizio?
He does it twice.
Oh, really?
See, it's crazy. You don't know that. Yeah. So the first, the classic scene that everybody thinks of when you think of I'm the king of the world.
Winslet. Yeah.
It's not him and Winslet. When he goes, I'm the king of the world, it's with him and Fabrizio. People don't know that.
Really? He never says I'm the king of the world with Winslet. No.
Yes.
That's crazy. Because, like, all those, like, movie shows I see on TV and, like, A&E, he's doing that, and they always show Kate Winslet in front of him.
They always playing it like it's a girl. The scene that you're thinking of doesn't come in till, like, 5 hours later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The scene you're thinking of, so the like after that, they kind of cut to like, all right, Jack's at the bottom with the rich people, Rose is up top. Jack's up top with the rich people, Rose at the bottom with the poor. Rose up top, rich people, Jack's at the bottom.
All right,
with the poor
so everyone's with their people. They're segregated.
They're segregated. This is the ship. In the next couple scenes, they just let you know that like the Billy Zane dude is a dick.
Okay.
They just set that up hardcore.
Like he just treats Rose
treats
badly?
her just like orders for talk shit to her. You know
about
what I mean?
her?
Yeah, like she's like this, like just dick shit, just like complete rich guy.
Does he hit? Later.
You wait and see.
Oh, okay.
So you just being doing rich dick shit to her, okay? And then so Rose is like, how do they kind of set it up where they show Jack, like, the next scene is like Jack painting like this random family. It's kind of like they just kind of like montage. It's like slow. It's like slow. So it's like it's kind of hard to explain. They like slowly show Rose like voiceover hating her life as Billy Zane's being a dick, and she's like talking about that.
Okay.
And then it slowly pans to like Jack painting this random like dad and daughter.
Right.
And then he's painting and he's just kind of talking to Fabrizio. They're just talking about nothing. And then Rose walks out.
Ooh.
And that's the first time they see each other. It's like, so Rose doesn't see. So he sees Rose.
He sees Rose.
He's clearly in love.
Oh, right away.
Right away. He sees her, falls in love. He stops paying. He's like, and then some other guy's like, oh boy, you'd have to have angels fly out. That's what the guy goes. You'd have to have angels fly out your ass to get a girl like her. That's the line. That's the line in Titanic. You'd have to have angels fly out your ass to get a girl like her, boyo. Yeah. And he's looking at her, right? And then it's like, he's kind of just whatever. He just kind of pulls it off to the side. So the next scene, motherfucker Rose is at another rich party.
Right.
Like another rich day in her life, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just another day, and you hear the voiceover, and it's talking, and then she just gets up. She's like, I can't handle it. Right. And she runs. She runs across the whole boat. She's sprinting. She's just sprinting across the whole entire boat.
Just nowhere in plan to go.
Just running across the boat, dog. She's
right.
running. She passes. Jack is laying down, painting, like, it looks like he's drawing or smoking. I think he's drawing stars smoking. And then this motherfucker, like, raises up, sees her run by, and then she runs to the edge of the boat. She looks over, and then that's when she climbs over. This is the suicide attempt.
Oh, shit.
So she climbs over. This is the main character.
Okay, I thought someone committed suicide. No, she tries to kill herself.
Oh, somebody does commit suicide.
Okay, what?
This movie's... Yeah, so Rose climbs over the edge. She's going to jump. Right, she's going to jump. And then that's when their first meeting. Jack goes like, hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And then she's like, well, who are you? And he's like, I wouldn't do that. I don't think you, she's like, I'm going to let go. I'll mean it. And then he says, I don't think you will. Like he says, I don't think you will. And then he goes into this whole detailed thing about how he's from Minnesota. Right. And he used to go ice fishing, how cold the water is. And how he's like, I don't think you're going to let go. But if you do, I'm going to kill myself too. And he starts taking off his clothes. And she's like, what? What do you mean? And he was like, if you jump in there, I'm going to jump in there after you. That's the only choice that we have. Like, that's the only option. And then she's like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like clearly like... So he talks her into not killing herself,
right?
Because then he says the classic line like, "Hey, if you jump, I jump." That's a classic line in the movie. It comes back a lot. He says, "If you jump, I jump."
More foreshadowing.
Oh yeah,
it's a foreshadowing.
The whole movie is foreshadowing.
Okay,
the whole goddamn movie. Like so in the beginning of the movie where they're showing, remember the guys like doing the looking for the antiques in the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
The right in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Like in the present day.
Yeah.
Every single thing that they show is a scene. It's like an important scene
that
later in the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole entire movie is foreshadowed. It's crazy. Yeah.
All right.
So where am I at? Where are we at? We're at
he just stops her from killing herself.
Stops her from killing herself. So she's about to, like, they're meeting. He's like, what's your name? She's like, I'm Jack Doll. She's like, I'm Rose. And so she starts to climb back over, like, the thing to not kill herself. Right. She slips and falls, of course. And he grabs her by one hand.
Oh.
Last second one hand grab.
Oh, my God.
Of course. I didn't do this. Was in this fucking phenomenon. This movie's rated something on, like, 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
Catches her with the one hand.
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
She's screaming. Screaming. Right. And then, of course, the shipmates, people who work on the ship, they hear right. Scream. And they run. And so finally he pulls her over. And when he finally pulls her over, it looks like he lands like where he's on top of her body.
Oh.
And then that's when the shipmates and they go, hey, get off of that rich woman, you poor bastard.
Yeah, you're doing some poor people stuff to rich people.
Oh, yeah. So then the next scene is him handcuffed and Billy Zane going, what? Who are you? How dare you touch my wife, you fucking imbecile. You know, he's going up. And then finally, the Rose character goes, honey, he saved me. He goes, what? And she goes, well, and she tells some bullshit like I was trying to look at the and he was like, propellers? And she was like, the propellers.
Yeah,
I was leaning over, and then I slipped, and then Mr. Dawson, he came and he saved me. And then everybody was like, oh, thank you, Jack. And the cow dude, he's like,
maybe you're not as poor as we thought.
No, the cow dude still like an asshole goes, fine, all right, well, you must be freezing, honey, let's leave. And then another rich guy goes, maybe something for the boy. Maybe something for the boy. And the guy goes, you're right. Will a 20 do, Mr. Dawson?
And he just throws change at him, pretty much.
And then Rose goes, a 20 for the love of your life? And then he goes, fine. Just like that, right in front of her. Fine. How about this, Mr. Dawson? come join us for dinner tomorrow night, right? So that's how,
like it's some sort of prize.
like it's some kind of surprise to join them for dinner, like rich tycoons,
right.
right?
Well, I mean, it's also why would you? Your girl doesn't like you. Some dude just saved him. Why would you then invite that dude for lunch? That's not. You're not thinking
This guy was such a billionaire dick. Like
that he was like, "There's no way.
nothing.
I have too much money.
I have too much money." When you explain the rest of this movie, this dude is just like money.
Okay.
He's just like I have money, so that's life.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Love. I have more money than love can buy.
Yeah. So he walks away. Like, right, they walk away and everybody leaves and it's like, okay, it's good. Then the assist. Remember I told you the number 2?
Yeah.
That nigga smart as hell, but the number 2 comes up and he real smooth goes like, because Jack asked him for a cigarette.
Right.
The guy goes, yeah. And he hands him a cigarette and the number 2 goes, he goes, interesting how she slipped and fell so suddenly, yet you still had time to remove all your clothes. Because all of his clothes are still on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And then he walks away and Jack's like, and it's just like, ooh, the assistant.
Fuck.
So the assistant's already on top of everything.
Yo, I forgot about the clothes.
Yo, it's a real smooth
knows.
scene. So the assistant
man.
knows up top that they're lying already. They're
Okay,
already,
something's up.
Regardless of what happened, the assistant knows, yo, these motherfuckers are lying.
Yeah, right.
Good. It was a good movie. A good little shot. Good little shot. Like, oh, okay, some guy, James. I see you with the writing. You know, I see you with the dialogue, my nigga. So, all right, let's jump to. I'm glad
James Cameron wrote the whole thing too.
I'm pretty sure. We might have to look it up.
All right.
Okay, so
The assistant has given him his warning. Trying to find your place.
Okay, yeah. Because we can edit some of this stuff. I was like, okay, because some of the stuff is just like I gotta get to where we are. Because I skipped. Like I was like, oh shit, I skipped way farther than I thought.
Really?
Oh yeah. Not skip, but like I did the whole thing. That's like all that I wrote. I didn't even have to look at it. Like, okay, good. But blah 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 blah. Okay, so then they go off, right? The husband goes off and he apologizes. The next scene is the husband apologizing to Rose,
right.
and he's telling her about how like, you know, like, hey, I'm sorry, and he gives her the Hope Diamond.
Okay.
So
the necklace that everyone's
gives
looking
her
for.
the necklace that everybody's looking for, right? That's what
right.
he gives it to her, and he tells her he loves her, he's gonna marry her, blah 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 blah. They cut to right after that. The next scene, I swear to God, is Jack and Rose. The next day, it's in broad daylight. So it's, and it's also, this is in a matter of like 4 days,
right,
3
right.
days. This is, you know, the ship goes down.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the Atlantic,
Yeah.
So the next scene is Jack and Rose walking and just having conversation. This is to me the best part of the movie. This is the best part of the whole movie. This is where they fall in love. So they're walking, and Jack's just telling them about her, him and whoop-de-whoop. And then she, he goes, like, he tries to ask her a little bit about her. She defers back to him.
Right, she stonewalls.
She stonewalls back to him. And then he just goes, they're talking a little bit more, and then he goes, do you love him? Just real casually, like, hey, do you love him? And she goes, what? He goes, do you love him? And she goes, how dare you ask me something like that? How rude are you, Mr. Dawson? And she goes off on her, right? She goes rich lady on him. Right. And then he goes, I'm just asking if you love him, And she was like, and then she was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. He was like, well, you can leave. And she was like, oh, this is my side of the ship. You leave. And he was like, oh, well, now who's being rude? This is like, he's like being all flirtatious.
Right.
And then he's holding his paintings. It's like, you don't know, but he's holding his drawings.
Right.
And she goes, what is this? She grabs it. She's like, what are you, some kind of artist or something? And then she was looking at him for a second. She goes, these are rather good.
Oh, more for dude. The foreshadowing, A+.
And then she goes, oh, Jack, these are very good.
And she gets all breathy like
that.
that.
Oh, my God, just like that.
Yeah.
Jack, and she sits down. She has to sit down. Because, also, oh, my God, they set up in the beginning of the movie. Remember when I told you Cal's just being a dick to her?
Right.
In the beginning of the movie when they move in, right, when they're moving into their rich hotel room. Yeah. So she's putting up Monets and Picassos.
Oh, she likes
and they're nobodies.
Right.
Monet and Picasso, they're absolutely no. And he's like, I can't believe you made me spend so much on these nobodies. And he goes, I'm telling you that Picasso, he'll be nothing I say. He literally says that. He'll be nothing I say. Yeah. There's a line in the movie. He'll be nothing. Okay. Yeah. And then so like they set up that she loves like arts, right?
Right.
And so
now she's all breathy.
She can't believe, oh my God, Jack, these are beautiful. And he's being all modest about it.
Right. He's acting like he doesn't want to fuck. That's pretty much right. That's the game he's playing. Like, oh, whatever.
So then after that, like while that's happening, they cut to a really important lunch that the captain's having, and the dude who designed the ship, the captain and the dude who designed the ship are having,
right.
And they're discussing like the guy who designed the ship. He's like, I want the ship to go. We should go faster.
Right.
And the captain's like, oh, we're going kind of fast enough. And then the guy's like, yeah, but if we go faster, we can make headlines. The Titanic goes in on Tuesday night. And then the captain's like, and he's like, huh? how about retiring with a bang? He said that's his like that because it was
the
apparently the
classic,
captain.
like, this is my last.
This is your last. He's like, this was the captain's last
Yeah.
one, and he was like, "How about retiring with a bang, old EJ?" He says, "Retiring with a bang, old EJ."
Yeah.
And the captain's like, and he's like, "Good lad," and he smokes his cigarette, just like, "Good lad, captain." And he looks off, like not looking at the guy, like, "I'm rich."
Yeah, everyone who's rich has that vibe in this movie, don't they?
They all talk like that.
They all talk, come on, like they're like the Monopoly man.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then they cut back to Rose and Jack, and it's now like late afternoon. Like, they've been hanging out all day. They cut to this, like, okay, they've been hanging out all day, and now they're just back to like talking and kicking it again. And they're talking about Jack's life, and Rose is just like, "Oh, I want to live like you, Jack.
Right.
I want to be free." You know?
Right, because she's her. I told you, I 100%. I'm gonna identify with Rose. She feels like her life is planned out for her.
Yeah, and then she goes, she says, "I just want to drink cheap beer and ride motorcycles, ride roller coasters till we throw up and ride horses." And then Jack goes, "Yeah, but none of that side saddle stuff." And she goes, "But one leg on each side?" And he's like, "That's the only way to do it." And then they're like, and they're just like looking at each other. And she goes, and then like one of the best lines is she goes, "I want you to teach me to ride horses like a man, Jack." And he goes, "And chew tobacco like a man." And she goes, and spit like a man. And he goes, "I can show you how to spit like right now."
I remember that scene.
That's a classic scene.
She teaches him how to.
They go running. They go running to another part of the boat, and then he teaches her how to like hawk a loogie.
Yeah.
Like, and then so they do this really cute spitting scene, and then like while they're doing that, her mom and the Kathy Bates character walk up.
Oh.
Yeah, like right during the loogie scene. Right during the loogie scene.
Oh no. You know, this scene. We've talked about this before, but this scene is very much like. We talked about how like rich people romanticize like poor people.
Yeah, they do.
And so like she's going poor people camping.
Yeah.
She's going camping in the poor people world. She has her nice little tent, but now she has a nice little hotel room, but now she can go see the sights of poor people. They can
Exactly.
They can spit. Oh wow. How crazy.
Roller coasters. Like, bitch, go ride a goddamn roller coaster.
Yeah, what's stopping you?
You're with a tycoon.
Yeah, you can build your own roller coaster.
Bro, the Hope Diamond.
It's called Roller Coaster Tycoon for a reason. You can just make it.
That was a good reference. But the Hope Diamond is the size of a goddamn football helmet, man.
Okay.
It's huge.
It's just bigger than everything.
It's fucking humongous. So so the money that these people had was it must be it's crazy.
Yeah.
Billion, just old money. You know what I mean?
So Kathy Bates and her mom see her.
See him. Right. And then the mom says that she goes, the Kathy Bates character, clearly, like, they become friends. She likes the Jack guy. Because the Kathy Bates character also just became rich. She's a billionaire, but she just became rich.
But
and
she's
she
still
was
Jenny
poor.
from the block.
She's still Jenny from the block. Kathy Bates character is still Jenny from the block. So she's like, she still even talks like a Southern. She talks like this. You know, she's the only person who talks like this amongst all the riches. You know.
All right. So that's the one rich person on Jack's side.
Oh yeah. So
she still believes in love.
Oh yeah, so everybody's like following him, and then the Rose does like a Rose voiceover, and she was like, "But my mother was looking at him like an insect, a dangerous insect that needed to be squashed immediately." Yo, if anybody ever listens to this podcast, they gonna be like, "Yo, this nigga knows that kind of like, that's like," because you're gonna watch this shit, son. You're gonna be like, "Fuck, those were like a lot of the lines."
Wow, man, that's crazy. That's crazy that they thought of other human beings like that.
Yo, it was crazy. So. Then she takes the daughter away. She's like, "We need to go away."
Right. You can't be spitting.
And so the whole time, by the way, Jack has like spit on his like chin.
Yeah.
The whole conversation, they don't tell like so that's like a funny look. It's like, oh, but this nigga's a good director, man. James Cameron, I see you, bro. I see. Another shout out to James, dog. Yo, so then the Kathy Bates character, she looks at him, the Jack guy, and she goes, "Do you even know what you're getting into, honey?" And he goes, "Huh?" And she goes, "Do you know the kind of sharks you're about to swim?" But like letting him know like these people are about to eat you the fuck up.
Yeah, you're about to.
And then she's like, "What?" And then she's like, "What are you gonna wear?" And then he was like, fucking this. He's got on like his poor people clothes. You know?
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, come with me." And then like she puts him in a fresh
makeover scene?
Bro, of course.
Oh, yo.
She puts him in a fresh, he was like, and she goes, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like one of those easy makeovers. Like, you know how in the movies where they just take off the glasses and then it's hot? It's like that. You just put on like a nice clothes. It's like, oh yeah, that's Leonardo DiCaprio.
The nigga's hot the whole movie.
Right. Okay.
The nigga's hot as fuck in the in the popper clothes.
Right. That's the only way a rich person would really fall for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be hot.
Yeah, the nigga was hot as hell, and he could draw. And he saved her life.
Oh yeah, he's done a lot. He's done a lot to this point.
And like this is in like a day and a half, my nigga. He did this shit.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? But but if you listen, like when I'm talking, but like I'm talking through it, but like when you watch the movie, you know, like he's telling all these crazy stories about how crazy his life's been.
Right.
So you know that like, oh, this is just
They're just talking.
No, for him, like even if he would have survived, let's say it would have just been another motherfucking
Okay, so his life's that
3
crazy.
days. His life's crazy.
Now my question is, so they spent a whole day hanging out with each other. Did she like where's Billy Zane during that whole time?
He was off doing rich guy shit.
Okay, because I thought they had like tight control on the women back then.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
But he was off doing shit.
Okay, and so
You know what I'm saying?
And
He's off
so she
smoking
was- yeah.
brandy, smoking cigars, and talking to other rich niggas, man. Talking business. Might have been working. I don't know. They don't. She was. He was obviously fucking up.
right, clearly this whole movie Billy Zane is not seeing the signs.
Billy Zane's fucking up,
It's
dog.
right. I mean the groundwork. Leo's laying the perfect groundwork right now. Good ground game.
Yeah. So Kathy Bates puts him in a suit. She's like, oh, she gives him a tuxedo because she just how happens like, oh, you and my nephew are the same size. Blah blah blah.
Right.
And so then the next scene like the husband sees him, like, so they cut to there at the dinner. The husband sees Jack, he's just rude to him immediately, and like it's so weird, like you can tell Rose likes him,
Right.
like obviously, like she
Right.
sees him all dressed up, and she's like, oh my goodness,
Right.
and then
Those paintings. She gets
Yeah.
breathy again.
so but he lets Billy Zane, he walks off to like go glad hand people and talk to her, like, and walk with her mother, and then she lets Jack like walk arm in arm with her around the whole entire motherfucking party.
Yeah, man. Is he an idiot?
Idiot, as she's telling him like who each person is, and he's handling himself. Now, my nigga Jack's
Right.
talking. And
Yeah,
because somebody
he's-
comes up and like, Dawson, are you from the Boston Dawsons? And he goes, I'm the Chipperwood Falls Dawsons. You're like, he's saying some smooth shit. She's like, oh, my nigga. She's just
Yeah, so his improv game is super
Oh,
strong.
he's killing it.
yes-anding motherfuckers left
yes,
and
and
right.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But
And Billy Zane's just blind. He's like a referee.
oh, Billy Zane's fucking up. Billy Zane, he's an idiot walking around. He's just trying to shit on him. Like, so they
Right.
get to the dinner table,
Mhm.
but Rose's mom, she wasn't having that shit.
Right. No,
Rose's
I know,
mom
he's a
was
poor kid.
Rose's mom's like, it's
He
a huge,
spits.
huge embarrassing him. Yeah, he spits. And she was like, Jack, tell us about the poor people luggage. And then my nigga Jack's like, oh, it's we got the polo luggage. Hey, it ain't real Gucci, but it's a good luggage. He's just like, he's just being funny, making everybody laugh, and then she's just hitting him with questions about like how he's not shit, and like what's it like to be just a poor person not doing nothing. The Billy Zane dude's like, how did you even get the tickets? And he's like, oh, I won him here. I won him in a game of poker. And he's like, a real man makes his own luck. That's like one of his like,
God.
yeah,
Oh,
just
God,
like,
I hate him.
He's the worst, dude.
I hate him.
He's a fucking hater. And then
He's a hater.
bro, my nigga DiCaprio, then he does this huge like speech at the end because they're
Oh, about how we're all the same?
no,
No,
like
okay, good.
about how he lives his life. He's just like, hey man, I'm the kind of guy that I was under a bridge the other day, and today I'm drinking wine where you find people. So I just live every day the fullest, and you never
Right.
know where you're gonna end up. So I'm just out here to make it count. And
Right.
then everybody's like, to making it count, right? And everybody's like, oh, that was dope that he said that, right?
Yeah.
And then so all the dudes get up and they're like, all right, we're gonna
do
go have brandies and smoke cigars and talk about our being masters of the universe or some
right,
shit.
owning the world.
Yeah, and then they go off, and then the Billy Zane guy's like, Dawson, are you gonna come with us? Or are you gonna stay with the women? And he's like, I think it's time for me to head back to poor people land.
Yeah. To go back to poor people town.
And he's like, that suits you, Papa. And then he walks away, and then
He leaves Jack and Rose together again.
no, because Rose is with the women.
Okay.
Because he's like, honey, are you gonna go to bed? And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay with the women. And then she goes off, and then he goes, Rose, it was really like everybody's still looking at him. He goes, Rose, it was really nice meeting you. Thank you so much. And then he hands her a little note when he shakes her hand. And then of course everybody walks away, and then she reads it. And then the note said, it said, meet me at. It said to making it count. ... Meet me at the clock tower. Like where she saw him, she saw him for the first time when he was all dressed up for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's like, so that's a pivotal scene. Like you see him
And
in
that's
the
the
tuxedo.
point where everyone's heart kind of flutters.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I felt that. I felt like, oh man, it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, so meet me at the
Love.
clock tower. It's
felt
real,
good.
yeah. So
So Jack's a smooth ass motherfucker.
bro, so she runs up to the clock, like she gets away from the girl, she runs to the clock tower, and then a classic line, he goes, so you want to go to a real party? And then it's cut to, it's just that motherfucking departed Irish music. And it's just poor people
Right.
just getting turned like a fucking Migos concert,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Just like hands out, you see him dancing. And
Right.
it's just one of the best scenes in the goddamn movie, dog. And they're like turned as fuck, and you see like they're doing like Jack picks her up to dance. She's like, oh, I can't dance, Jack. And then he's like, come on, girl. And then he just starts fucking Leonardo DiCaprio is dancing his goddamn ass off.
Right.
And then he hits her with this
Counts
Irish
it good man.
Bro, he hits her with the Irish footwork. It's a full dance scene.
Right.
It's a full.
Really?
Yes.
So they've had a makeover scene, a dancing. Man, what am I missing? I missed a lot.
It's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It wasn't a movie. It wasn't a movie. It was a phenomenon.
Oh, wow.
Full dance off, full like dancing, and then she shows him that she can like
She can
Irish
move.
tap. She can Irish tap too.
She can move because she's uninhibited now. There's no man. The man isn't holding her back. He's letting her be her.
Oh yeah. So and then they have a whole tap dance off.
Okay.
A full dance off.
A full dance off.
Where they both go back and forth.
That's amazing. I wasn't expecting to find a little bit of step up in this movie.
Oh,
it's here.
Brother, right?
Yeah. But here we are.
You wouldn't believe that the next 2 hours is a horror film.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I forgot that there's so much death after this. After this dance off, James Cameron, what the fuck is wrong with you? So the next shot is these two guys arm wrestling in the party.
Right.
They're arm wrestling.
Right.
And then Rose goes up to him and she's like, you think you're real men? And then she lifts up her dress and she's like, watch this. And then she stands on like her tippy toes, like literally like a ballet dancer. It's like a big shot in the movie. Like women love this scene. And then and she's like, and then Jack catches her like, and she's like laughing, like, and he's laughing, and it's like in slow motion. And then right in that slow motion shot, they pan up and you see the assistant, and he's just watching the whole thing.
No, yo,
it's a good movie, man.
It's the whole thing.
He's just watching. He saw it. He's looking at him.
Is he like outside the party looking in, or is he just in the party?
It's like if there's stairs to go down.
Okay.
He's holding the stairs and he's looking like you see him creep. You see his head and like his upper half. And
Okay.
He's just like leaning forward, watching.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And just
then
like scheming.
And then he fades back out.
He fades away like a classic villain.
Of course.
Oh man. What? I did not see that coming.
So this next scene around this part.
Right.
This is when the whole movie changes.
Oh.
Okay. So this is I always knew this when the movie changes because the next scene it's a cut to they're having breakfast.
All right.
Right, and Billy Zane and Rose, and Billy Zane knows.
Oh yeah, because the assistant told him.
Assistant told him. So Billy Zane, she don't know that he knows.
Right.
So she's just like last night was fun, right? And he was like, I bet it was fun, wasn't it? He's like doing the whole thing.
Yeah, he's being really passive aggressive.
Yeah, very passive aggressive. And then he goes, I know, Rose. I know where you were last night. And then she's like, so, and then she goes, you can't, spy on me like one of your foremen at your Pittsburgh Tycoons, tycoon parties or whatever. And then he smashes the breakfast shit. He throws it, he throws all the breakfast. He goes, bitch, I am God. I am God. I will sink a ship. I will do things. He's just fucking mad as fuck.
Right.
He's like, and he's like right in her face, yelling at her. And then I remember that because this is the part of the movie where you had to switch the VHS. You remember I told you there were 2 VHS tapes?
Yeah.
So that was the last scene in the VHS.
Okay.
And then the second VHS tape is just the movie It. Or fucking Chucky, you know what I mean? It's just like a murder film. So pretty much what I've told you so far has been like what, a rom-com? Not a rom-com, but
no, it's been like a Pride and Prejudice type. Yeah, like a she loves him but can't be with him,
right?
Because of different class.
Because of the time. Those were the times.
Those were the times movie. Yeah. So this would be like if Pride and Prejudice had like that fucking zombie outbreak at the end.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
where it's just some kind of crazy like.
Yeah, Titanic is Pride and Prejudice, but at the end it's after like 28 days after.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
All right, all those movies are movies I haven't seen, but I think I get what you're saying.
Okay. Oh God.
Okay, so you switch to the VHS.
So he switched to VHS. They're having breakfast. He said, he smashes the breakfast. Rose is sad. And then the next scene is the mom and Rose, right? And like she's helping Rose get dressed up,
right,
for church.
Okay.
And she's telling her, Rose, I forbid you to see that boy.
Okay, she's doing like the corset and all that.
Yeah, she's doing the corset, and she's like, "Oh, mother, you're gonna shut your face before you have another nosebleed." That's the line. Shut up before you have another nosebleed, mother. And then she's doing the corsets, and then she
pulls the corset too tight,
real tight, and she flips around. She goes, "Bitch!" And this is something I didn't notice. I've seen the movie 1,000 times, like I said, and I didn't notice till today that the mom goes, "Hey, you have to marry this motherfucker. We are poor. We have no money."
Oh, so her family lost her money.
The dad, apparently, when the dad died, the dad just recently died, her father, and left them in a shit ton of debt. I did not ever noticed that before.
Ooh, that
so-
just raises the stakes a lot.
So the mom was like, if you don't do this, you want me to go back to being a seamstress? You know, and the mom says a bunch of fucked up shit like, well, do you want us to have to sell all our houses and our boats and like all this shit? But like, so and the mom, I see now the mom's perspective now that I'm like a little older. You know what I mean? Like,
where it's like, yeah, this is about your future.
Exactly.
It adds more pressure to the like you have to marry him.
gotta
She
marry
can't
this
just
dude.
run off with who she pleases. But she's also just 19 years old. There's also that. That's a crazy amount of shit to put on a 19-year-old.
Yeah, man.
Different times, man.
So next scene, they're at a church. Jack tries to come in, and they don't let him. It's like she's trying, and he's like, "Why aren't y'all letting me? I just want to say something to Rose real fast." And they're like, "Hey, you're not allowed in this place anymore. You're done. Poor person. Go back to being poor people. Go back to poor people world. You know."
PPL, PPW, sorry.
So he's kind of like, all right, and then he kind of walks away. And the next scene is like Rose talking to the guy who designed the ship, like one of the guys who designed the ship. And then he's telling her, she's like, Rose is like, "No, Mr. Andrews, I did my calculations and I noticed there's not enough lifeboats for people on the boat." And he goes, "You're very smart, Rose. Well, actually, what happened was we had all the lifeboats on the boat. This is true, by the way. We had all the lifeboats on the boat for the Titanic, like that would accommodate all the people.
Right.
But then it looked too ugly. They said it made the floorboard all cluttered, and nobody wanted to visually. It wasn't appealing.
What?
So there was only enough lifeboats for like, nigga, a third.
Just because of the looks?
That's true. That's fact.
Oh, God, we're so stupid.
Yo,
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
crazy, right?
This is just senseless amount of people died
Yeah,
just because of aesthetics.
and some other shit that you'll find out in a little bit.
Okay, okay.
So,
But I bet they made sure they had enough for the rich people to get out.
oh man, it's so fucked up.
Uh,
It's so fucked up. So they have that whole conversation, and then Jack like while they're having that conversation, like the husband, Billy Zane, starts talking to the guy,
Right.
and then while he's doing that, Jack kind of snatches Rose off, and and he goes like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, I love you." He professes all this love, like we should be together.
Right.
I don't want to see you throw your life away. Come on, it's about us. And then she's like, "I'm with Billy Zane." "I'm with Billy Zane now. Jack, I can't do this. Billy Zane." And then she runs off, and then
Right.
and Jack's like, you know, when somebody hits the wall, like, "No, I lost her." You know, but he's but I still believe that
Right,
kind
right.
of guy. You know.
I'm persistent.
So I swear to God, then the next scene, it's a cut to her like at a dinner with her mom, and she's watching a little girl eat, and like the mom is like telling the little girl how to sit and like how to behave, and then the next scene is her like what you think the King of the World shot is.
Right.
So she's watching a little girl eat, and then the next scene, Jack's sitting there looking out off into the thing in the distance, and she walks up, she goes, "I knew I'd find you here."
Why is that so funny?
And then she goes, "Jack, I choose you." And he goes, "Shh, come here." And she goes, and then they start playing that song.
Okay, this is where the Celine Dion comes in, right?
No, Celine Dion's been playing a lot, but just the violin. But this is when it really comes in hard,
All right.
kind of good here. But it comes in hard a lot, but it
Okay.
never fully really plays. It just kind of slowly plays throughout the whole movie,
Right.
you know, and then
Right.
picks up and lets down at different times.
All right.
So it's one of those, and this is the shot you're thinking is because this is the cover of the movie. Where
Right.
He tells her to come up. He doesn't yell "King of the World" this time. This time he just kisses her. It's the first time they kiss.
Oh, this is the first time they kiss.
It's the first time
It's
they
a good first kiss.
Great first kiss shot,
Yeah,
man.
that's solid.
Yep.
Again, he's smooth.
Very smooth.
I like him. He's very likable.
Oh, the nigga was a bad boy.
Right.
Bad boy. the
A
whole movie.
rapscallion.
A rapscallion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they, as they're kissing, it fades to, and like the boat gets all moldy, and it's back like underwater, and it's back to present day.
Oh shit.
Yep. Yeah.
We're going in and out.
Yeah. Well, only for a second. They just tell you that they cut out, and then she goes. A guy goes, "That was the last day Titanic saw." That was the last because the sun was going down as that was happening.
Right.
That was the last time the Titanic saw daylight. They just let you know that like
Oh.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
We're about to go from 0 to 100
Yep.
right now.
And then back to Titanic time.
Right.
So they jump right back to Titanic
Back to
time. Yep.
Tycoon era.
Tycoon era. Tycoon time.
Tycoon time. TT.
So they're in the room, and she tells him, this is the classic scene, they go back into their bedroom, and he's like, "Oh, is your husband coming in soon?" And she goes, "Not if the brandies and cigars don't wear off." And she's like, "Bitch, are you out of your fucking mind?" He also,
wait. She brought her back to his room.
his room.
The psychotic, sociopathic billionaire.
Yeah.
She brought a poor dude into that room.
I didn't think about it like that. She brings a board into the room.
A poor dude into a psychopath's room.
And he only asks once. He goes, is he coming? She goes, none of the wine and brandy's don't wear off.
And he's like totally chilling after that.
He's like, hey, all right, fuck it.
Right. Well.
I trust you.
Right. Because you've shown that you're trustworthy, girl who tried to kill herself earlier. You've shown
when
that
we first met yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying? So, motherfucking, I swear to God, bro, this bitch.
She's out of her mind. That's a crazy thing to do.
Yeah, so that's when she says the classic
And
line.
you already know his goons are on him.
Yeah, he's got a goon on you all day.
What?
Looking for you constantly, right?
Just go to the poor people place. You had fun in poor people land.
Well, you got caught there.
Oh, you got caught. Well, you're definitely gonna get caught in your own goddamn bedroom. You're out of your mind.
So she, so she's like, she says the classic line, Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
I know that line.
Oh, yeah.
It's the line that forced me to not see this movie until now.
And then that's when you see them nice-ass Kate Winslet titties.
Oh,
dog.
man. Good.
Oh, man. Great.
First titties you ever seen?
First tits I've ever seen,
That's
man.
a good one. That's a good one.
First tits I've ever seen.
Wrapped around intrigue.
Oh, man. Wrapped Around a great movie. You know what's funny? Because I was watching that movie, and, like, I did notice. I remember I was 11 years old. I noticed the tits. Obviously, I noticed the tits.
Good man.
I was 9 years old. But I was still, like, caught up in, like, are they going to... Is he gonna catch them? I was 9 years old. Like, oh my God, get out of the room,
Yeah,
Billy Zane. He bitched this nigga threw breakfast at you earlier. You know, I was nervous as a 9-year-old, man. It was a lot to handle. Billy Zane was upset. I couldn't handle that. So I guess this is when Rose was like, I'm gonna let Billy Zane know what's up. So she takes the painting, puts it in the safe.
Okay. Right.
That we get caught up. You know, that gets found. And she also leaves a note. She leaves a note, and
I'm on the edge of my seat.
and the note says, "Oh, okay, yeah." She leaves a note, and in the note, I swear the note says, "Now you can keep us both locked in your safe," and it's like a picture of her with a note, and then like the picture is autographed by Jack Dawson. So it's like obviously.
Oh damn!
And that's when you find out. Right when that happens, they cut to, and the fiance already has the assistant. He was searching for him the whole time.
Right.
He didn't look in the room because why the fuck would they be in the room?
That's okay.
See?
Oh man.
Now?
Maybe she is smarter than I thought.
Exactly. Finally, the assistant finds him, and there's this humongous chase scene throughout the entire ship.
Okay, so he's chasing now Jack.
He's chasing Jack through like the upper deck.
To kick his ass?
To chasing Jack and Rose.
Okay. Oh, they're running.
Jack and Rose are laughing. They're like running.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, this
That's
is
like Bollywood movie-esque.
Yeah, like
They're
we're loving this, and then he's like chasing him, like you know, and then they get chased all the way down to the boiler room, and then they get chased. The boiler room is also very important, by the way. They show this boiler room. I don't know if you know what a boiler room is.
That's where like they
shovel the coal in the
yeah.
Bro, they show that motherfucking room 15 times before a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So they run through the boiler room into storage into this abandoned car,
right?
And then that's where
they get it on.
They get it on. It's some good fucking.
That makes me happy.
Oh yeah, that's where the classic they do this classic scene where like so they pan up on the car and the car is all steamy.
Oh, in the hand.
And just pow that hand slap,
right.
Bro. That fucked me up. I thought that's what sex was.
Just like what?
I thought sex was slapping the car window as hard as you can. Every time I come, I've broken.
you've just run through cars.
Oh, dude,
my
hand is shattered.
I've always wondered why there's just so many cuts on there. Yeah,
yep.
You weren't even no penetration, just hand slapping. Just
my hand looks like Freddy Krueger's skin from how many times I slap a car window.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, I could see that. You'd be like, oh man, I guess that's what sex is. You just hit a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm. So during the sex scene, you also find out that the lookouts for the icebergs don't have the binoculars because they lost them. It's just a quick little cut too. So like they cut back to the guys and they're like, "Hey, what? You have the binoculars?" And he's like, "I lost the binoculars." And they're like, "All right,
whatever."
it's like
God can't take this down.
Yeah,
right.
So so like Rose and Jack, they like run back after the sex scene. They run back above deck, and Rose tells Jack like when the ship's docks, I'm gonna choose you. Right. Like it's a big, it's like a close up scene, like really romantic. And then right as that moment, iceberg.
Oh, they hit.
Right when she tells him, like, I choose you. Like, regardless of what happens, I'm going to choose you.
Right.
They hit the iceberg.
That's crazy. I would like to also point out that in this flashback, she's remembering a lot of things that she wasn't there for.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just making that clear.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Because she's telling this whole story, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really. I guess.
Okay.
Okay. You know what's funny? She is telling this whole fucking
Right.
story. Holy shit! How the fuck is she telling this story?
Right.
Also, a lot of the stuff she's not there for.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, she's just telling the stuff, like, so she's coloring in. So this story is very unreliable. When you, like, really step back from it and, like, really analyze what's going on, this is not a very, you know, she's a very good storyteller, but you have no idea, even in the Titanic world, if this happened.
Because also, you're right. How the fuck would you know Jack's point of view? They never talked about it.
Right, how would you know that, but they don't have the binoculars?
Well, also, you know what's funny? I mean, I guess it could have been the two guys filling in those blanks.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it would have been a lot. James Cameron, if you're listening, we understand why you didn't.
Right. Yeah.
We understand why you didn't want to do that. Oh God. So, bro, they hit the iceberg. They try to turn the ship. It doesn't happen in time. The boiler room people get fucked immediately. Immediately.
Oh, really? They just
Immediately. They show. Because they've been showing these niggas like, oh, we shovel coal. I think there's a song. We shovel coal to keep the Titanic going. Like they're doing their whole thing. And then,
Right.
so those niggas are dead. All those niggas,
Right.
they gone. Not all. A couple of, they show like there's a big another chase scene where they're like shutting all the automatic doors because the water's flushing through.
Right.
You know, and then like they're like the guys who are like diving through, running. And then,
So what I said earlier about a guy diving under a door, that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
that happens. And then another guy right behind him doesn't make it. It's fucking, it's
Oh,
fucked up.
God.
You see the panic in that nigga's face.
And he's just gonna, you're dead. He knows he's dead.
He knows he's dead.
All right.
So the ship starts to sink, you know, and then Cal, this is when Billy Zane, he's smart. He goes, because he knows, obviously, because the assistant told him that, you know, Jack and Rose ran off.
Right.
So he knows that. So he goes, I got a plan. He goes, go get the Master of Arms, which is like the head chief of police on the Titanic.
Right.
And he says that he's been robbed. He says, I've been robbed. Somebody took the Hope Diamond. Right? Somebody took the Hope Diamond.
Ooh.
So
What a bad person.
bad person. So they cut
Great
to
plan.
you find out Rose hears like Rose is walking by the Mr. Andrews and the captain guy, and her and
Mr.
Jack,
Andrews is the
guy, one of the guys who designed the ship.
Okay.
Who's the guy who built the ship, not designed it, but the guy who actually built it. Like
Okay.
did the build.
Okay.
And him and the captain are talking, and he's telling him, the ship's gonna go down. Period. Within the hour, like, and so she's like, so they're panning that whole conversation about how he's telling them that, and then as they like finally get to the end of that, they're walking down some steps, they pass by Rose and Jack. And so they hear like the ship is going down, and then Rose is like, I gotta tell my mother and Cal, because you know she's a woman.
Right.
I guess it's like I get to tell your mom, but what the fuck, Billy Zane?
Right.
Fuck Billy Zane.
But $1 billion, man.
You know,
$1 billion earns a warning.
I'm sorry. Some people love Billy Zane. So, bro, wait, where were we at?
Okay, so she's going off to tell Billy Zane and her mom.
And her mom.
Right.
So when they finally get to the motherfucking they get to and they're like, Cal, mother, the ship's going down. And then Cal's like, I've been robbed. There's the man. And as they're doing that, the assistant, real smooth, bro, drops the Hope Diamond in Jack's pocket.
Oh.
Real quick. Like while they were doing this. I mean, he robbed me.
No.
Yep. And
No.
Yep. And so the they're like, check his pockets. And then Jack's like, check my pockets. I don't fucking rob anything. And then of course they check his pockets and the Hope Diamond's in there. And then Rose is looking at him like, what? And then she was like, no, he couldn't have. I was with him the whole time. And then he was like, maybe he did it when you were putting your clothes back on, harlot. You know. And then she was looking at it. And he was like, Rose, I didn't do it. Rose, you know me. Rose, you know me.
You've known me for 2 days.
Yeah,
You should know.
He says that, you know me. And then she's having that face like, damn, this nigga is poor. And I just met this dude. And that dick was fire. And good dick steal. You know? So
Poor people got that good dick. They have to.
they have to, and they usually steal.
Right.
So
Right. Definitely.
so they arrest him and they take him off. And then she doesn't know who to believe. And she's like kind of with Cal.
Right.
And she's like, you know what? I don't know what to do. And then they announce that the ship's going to be sunk within an hour.
Okay.
And then right when they say that, they say the ship will be sunk within an hour. They announce it to everybody. And then the captain, like the captain who the guy who was telling him to go faster in the beginning of the movie to make headlines,
Right.
he looks at the guy and he goes, I think you have your headlines now, Mr. Ismay. It's like one of the big lines. The captain was so happy to say that shit.
Yeah,
He's like, he's like,
that was a good fuck you line. That was
I'm ready
Yeah.
to say fuck you, bro. So in the next scene, Cal just slaps the shit out. Billy Zane, he slaps the shit out of Rose. He slaps her ass, and the captain orders everybody to put on life belts, and they treat all like it's like a big panic going on. They're treating all the rich people good and the poor people bad. So they're kind of locking all the gates for the poor people so they can't get up.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, and that comes into play later. And they're treating you see how they're throwing life jackets down to the poor people,
right.
and like the rich people they're knocking on their doors and the ship is going down, but like being like real polite about it. So
right.
there's a big montage like with kind of that going on.
Right.
And everyone's kind of panicking, and that's when they announce women and children first.
Right.
It's just like a big kind of panicky kind of like
right.
wide shot shit.
Yeah. Now it's just a lot of like people dying, a lot of
not yet. It's just panic yet.
Okay.
Right now it's just like this just happened, and the ship's starting to sink.
Right.
The ship is starting to sink, and the lifeboats are like these old wooden lifeboats that they have to like lever down with like pulleys and shit.
Okay.
So they're starting to fill those up with women and children. The front half is kind of sunken. The assistant is down at the assistant who the mean guy. He's got Jack in the basement, and he's like, and he punches him. Like he knocks that nigga's fucking teeth out, and he takes the handcuff keys and he dipped in like he tells Jack some shit like about how you suck or just like some mean line, punches him, takes the keys and he leaves Jack with the water coming up like Jack.
So Jack's fucked.
Jack's just like, oh, I'm fucked. He's like, there's no way.
Right.
Then let's see. Oh yeah. Then Rose has to get on the lifeboat.
Right.
Like with Cal, like so now they're in that scene. Rose is about to get on the lifeboat with Cal,
right.
and like the Cal and the mother are saying like horrible shit, because they're like Rose is trying to like we need to help more people, and they're like let them, they're poor people, we don't need them on the boats, you know what I mean?
Poor people world.
Yeah, saying shit like that, and then she's like, I choose Jack, and she runs off, and he's like, you choose some gutter rat over me, you whore, and she's like, I'd rather be his whore than your wife.
Yo, that's a fire line right there.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
She runs off to find this nigga, and then she finds the Mr. Andrews dude, and she's like, hey, where would you keep somebody if you were the Master of Arms would arrest somebody, where would they keep him? And he's like, down on the bottom, but you can't go down there, Rose. You'll die. Right. She's like, I have to save Jack. And she runs. And then she finally finds this nigga, like, she takes him a while, but she goes, like, the bottom of the ship, there's, like, water and shit. It's dark. Like, she's down there by herself. It's, like, creepy and shit.
Yeah.
And she finally finds him. And then he's like, you took the key, what are we going to do? And then she runs off to get help. Like, he's like, just, Rose, you're going to have to run off again to get help. So the water's coming up. He's just in there. Right. She runs off to get help again. She while she's there, a dude tries to help her, like some guy who works there, grabs her by the arm. He's like, "Lady, you can't be down here."
Right.
And she's like, "No, help! I gotta help me. I gotta help my fiance. He's down there." She's like, "Come on, miss." And he's not listening to him. She's like, "Please, please." And then she punches that nigga in the face.
Oh.
And then she right hooks this nigga.
Fuck yeah.
Right in the goddamn jaw. And then
I love it.
And then she smashes open some emergency thing and grabs an axe, and she runs back with the axe. And then she's like, "Jack, I found an axe." And he's like, "Good shit, Rose." And then she's like, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "All right, smash this." And then she comes up and she's about to smash it. And he goes, wait, take some practice swings. Just as it. And then he goes, take some practice swings. She goes, okay. And she goes and she practices on a wooden thing. Yeah. And he goes, all right, Rose, hit that exact same spot. She goes, okay. And then she swings again and she hits a completely different dresser, pretty much. Like she misses a completely different thing.
Right.
And then he's like, good enough.
So now they've wasted time for no reason.
They've wasted the time for absolutely no reason. Right. And then he's like, Rose, all right, I trust you. I love you. Do it. And then he closes his eyes, and then they pan to her, and then she closes her eyes, and then she swings. And
what?
And then she hits it, of course.
Right, obviously.
She nails it.
Yeah,
and then her and Jack, they take off running. Mm-hmm. They take off running back up to the boat, right? About half of the ship is completely underwater now. So they pan back out. About half the ship.
Now people are dying.
Yeah. And Rose and Jack, they're looking for an escape. Because now they got to get back up.
Right.
And they literally bust through a door wall. Because there's no way.
Because they've locked the poor people
down. And but no, they were down at below that. So they had to bust through a wall to get to where the poor people were. Yeah, and then when they get to there, they find out all the motherfucking things are closed, right?
Right.
So they go around looking for a way to get in, and then they find Fabrizio, the guy from the beginning. Oh, Fabrizio. And he's like, Fabrizio! And he's like, Jackie, you're still alive! I got this pizza!
Yeah, he's eating meatballs.
And he's like, there's no time for this, Fabrizio. There's no time for meatballs. We have to fucking, do shit.
Fabrizio!
Yeah. He's like, Fabrizio, stop shooting fireballs. We have to fucking focus. And so Fabrizio's like, come on, Jack, what do we do? And then they grab like, or they all smart, they rip a bench off a wall and like they use that to bust through as a battering ram to bust through the gate. And the people are like, hey, you can't do that.
Right.
And so people are panicking and they bust through. And then a guy orders them, like a dude orders one of the guys, the shipmates with a gun, like by the lifeboats, like, hey, if these people start like rushing you, shoot them like dogs. And he gives him the gun, and the guy's like, oh, he doesn't know what to do.
Right.
And then they finally get back up to the top, and Jack is telling Rose, like, all right, they finally make it back to the top, and Jack's telling Rose, hey, you need to get on a boat. And then right then Cal shows up, and Cal's like, Rose, Jack's right. Get on the boat. And then Jack, and she's like, but what about Jack? Jack, what? And then Cal goes, don't worry, I've already made arrangements. Because apparently Cal, like, gave some money. Earlier in the scene, there's a scene where Cal gives the money to one of the Billy Zane dude gives the money to one of the shipmates.
Right.
And, like, hold a spot for me. Because it's women and children only.
Right.
But, like, he's a piece of shit.
Right, obviously.
So he tells the guy to hold a spot for him. So he finds her. And then she's like, are you sure? And he's like, go. And so Rose gets lower down, and they're playing that slow-ass Celine Dion music. And she's looking up at Jack, and it's real slow. And then Billy Zane, like, leans over, and he says some shit like, like, there's no spot for you. Or some shit like that. There's a spot for me. And he goes, I always win, Jack. I always win. And then right then she looks up, and she goes, no! And she jumps off the lifeboat. Like, the lifeboat's getting pulled down. Like, she jumps off the lifeboat back.
He catches her with one hand?
No,
okay.
She jumps back into like poor people zone.
Okay, poor people world.
Yeah,
right.
So he's like Rose, and so he like she's screaming Jack Rose. She has to run all the way down, and then they meet back in like the kitchen area.
Right.
Like, like they're both running up, and he goes, "You're so stupid, Rose." It's a classic. You're so stupid, Rose. And she goes, "I jump, you jump, Jack. I jump, you jump."
Oh God. Oh, foreshadowing.
Yeah, and then
foreshadowing the movie.
The cow dude, the Billy Zane nigga. So he runs. He obviously runs with him, and he sees this shit.
Right.
And then with the assistant, and the assistant's like, it's over.
Right.
Just let him die. Fuck him. Like, it's
yeah.
over. And then they're walking back, and then the Billy Zane dude in slow motion, he like grabs the assistant's gun in his pocket, and he's like, ah! And then there's another full chase scene, but this time with a shootout. There's another.
Yo, what does this movie not have?
Yo,
what the fuck does this movie not have?
Chases them back down, shooting at them the whole time now. Now they're getting shot at. Like, there's adrenaline rush. They're getting shot at. Pow, pow, pow.
Yo, Billy Zane is totally tripping.
Yeah. And, he shoots at him, and then they finally, like, get away, and then he's like, I hope you're happy. And then there's a cut, too, where he realizes, like, right when he saw Rose again.
When Billy saw Rose or Jack?
Jack.
Okay.
When Billy saw Rose again, there's a, like where Billy was like, hey, you should go down with him. Right. He puts his jacket on her.
Right.
Like, he must be freezing. And so, like, they show that, and then Billy, like, after he shoots at him, he starts laughing, like, right? Because he's like, hope you're happy, and then he starts laughing. And his sister's like, why are you laughing? What's going on? He's like, I put the diamond in the jacket. I put the jacket on her! Like, and then it's like a big, like he realizes, she, but she doesn't know. So her and Jack are now, like, running.
Right.
Like, they're back in poor people land.
Right.
And they're just running. They find a little yelling boy, and they try to help him. At one point, like, there's this quick scene where they try to find the help, and then that doesn't do shit.
Oh, so you just have to watch a kid die.
You watch a kid and a dad die, because they try to help him, and then, like, the dad shows up and, like, no, we're going to go this way. And he's like, no, go this way. And then, like, they just get washed away. Ugh. And then...
Of course you have to show the kid die.
So Rose and Jack, now they're trying to run back up top, and the water's coming in everywhere, and they're getting fucking thrown around. And then finally they find the stairwell, and they climb into the stairwell, and then there's another gate. Like, they lock
God.
up. And it's just them two now.
Right.
And there's nobody around.
No more
they're
people.
Screaming. They're like, no! And then finally a guy, shipmate, like a guy running on the opposite side, he runs by. Like, he's running. Like,
and he hears it.
Sir! And no, he runs right by him. It's it's a see-through gate.
Oh, okay. It's a gate.
So you can, like, they're like, sir, please. And he's like, fuck. And then he turns back and he gets the keys out and he's trying to help him. And the water's coming up. He's trying to help. And this nigga drops the keys. And they're like, no. And he's like, I'm sorry. And he takes off running. And then Jack goes down, grabs the keys somehow, underwater, comes back up, takes another deep breath because now the water's up top. And then they're like trying to get it. And then they finally get it, like, at the last second.
Okay.
They fucking, and then all the water comes out and then they run and they finally get upstairs. And then as they're running upstairs to the kitchen, they see the Mr. Andrews dude again.
Right.
The guy who built the boat.
Right.
This is where this big whole suicide thing. There's a whole suicide montage that's about to happen right now.
Oh, so it's just a bunch of people accepting their fate.
Yeah. And some pure suicide.
Oh,
so
shit.
a lot of this is a montage for the next 30 minutes of pure fucking suicide. So she sees the Mr. Andrews dude, and he goes like, Rose, I'm sorry, I failed you. I didn't build a good ship. And she's like, it's okay, Mr. Andrews, come with us, come. He's like, no, take my life belt. You know, they're called life belts, I guess, instead of life jackets. Okay. And then she takes his life jacket, and then they keep running. And then this nigga and then the water kills him. The water kills the captain.
Right.
You know, he kills himself, and the captain is like
the captain goes down with the ship.
They both go down with the ship. The guy who built the ship and the captain go down with the ship.
Right.
And oh yeah, and then also not just that, and then they showed like a bunch of other people who committed suicide. Like they show this old couple, like in a slow motion montage, they show all these people died at the same time. They show an old couple like as the water fills up and they're crying in their bed. It's fucked up. Then they show a mom as the water is like rising, reading to her children as they fall asleep, as the water's just rising. Dude, it's fucking intense.
Oh, jeez. I feel this in my stomach.
Yeah. So cut back to the poor. So now remember how the poor people busted through the gate, Fabrizio and them?
Right.
So
Fabrizio's still a thing.
Fabrizio's still alive.
Right.
So Fabrizio and this other guy that remember the angels out your ass guy, that guy?
Right.
He's still alive too. He helped them bust through the gate as well. So he's back in the movie. And so now they're back on top. And remember the guy that
the pistol guy?
The pistol guy that he's the guy also that Cal made the deal with. So Billy Zane comes back and he's like, hey, remember that I gave you like $100,000 earlier. I want to get on the life back. He's like, because he's like, I can't fuck your money. And he throws the money in his face. He's like, money's not good here. And everybody's like, back up, everybody. And everybody's like, we gotta get on this boat. Help us, you fucking animal. And then he shoots the fly it out your ass guy, angels out your ass guy. He shoots that nigga, like kills him. And Fabrizio's like, why?
Mamma mia.
Fabrizio's like, I was gonna make him a good pasta. I was gonna make him a pasta sauce when I got home. He's like, no. Jack has a girlfriend. This is now my only friend. In America, like.
You know how it goes after your friends get a girl. You see them last.
So I haven't seen him this whole trip. It's like, nigga, we got the tickets together with my money. And I don't even see you. And then I find out you're with rich people. Don't invite me.
I thought we were cool. Yeah.
So this man, Fabrizio's like crying, and then the dude who shot him, like he starts walking backwards, and he's just like, I can't deal with this. And then he salutes like his shipmates, and then they're like, no, and then he kills himself, shoots himself in the head. Like they show that shit brutally, like dude. The rest of the movie is just like, I was 9, and I was like, I cannot believe this is
what the fuck.
Yep.
Oh god, this is so intense. This is so intense.
So yeah, after that happens, it's just a full-on survival flick.
Right. It's just people survive. It's like Dunkirk.
It's just Dunkirk.
Okay.
Just running.
Right.
People are trying to run up the ship and like get to the because it's now going like this. So
it's tilting down.
People are like trying to go up and shit.
And people are sliding off and then into the water.
those big towers on the Titanic. Those big.
Yeah, the smokestacks.
The smokestacks. One of them. That's how Fabrizio dies. One of them motherfuckers fall on Fabrizio.
What?
Fabrizio eats it, bro. Fabrizio doesn't make it.
No, Fabrizio! I was supposed to make a good pasta.
I was gonna make a and then so Fabrizio dies.
Yeah.
There's this scene where like they're running up, right? And a guy who is in front of Jack and Rose, he's saying like he's doing the I walk through the valley of the shadow of death prayer.
Yeah.
And then Jack goes, "Hey, can you walk through that valley a little faster, buddy?"
Dude, I love it. I love
There's
it.
a lot of
I
those
love
kind
it.
of lines.
I love it how like while this terrible human disaster is happening, almost from the captain to Jack, everyone is like throwing out these fire one-liners. Like this is really just like burning them. Just really like, damn, that's a zinger.
Because I know if I'm that guy, I'm like, nigga, can I pray?
Yeah.
Can I pray right now?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So the ship keeps raising higher and higher, and Jack and Rose are like, oh, this is where we first met and kissed and all that bullshit.
Right.
And people are like falling, like it's almost vertical. People are falling like and getting fucked up.
Yeah.
People are jumping off the ship.
Right.
One nigga hits
the propeller.
Everybody knows that scene,
I've
bro.
seen that.
That motherfucker hit that propeller so goddamn hard. I watched this shit today. I was like, oh my god. Oh my! How does his leg not come off?
Ooh.
And also, you hear him yelling on the way down, and then he's not yelling no more.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, James, why you don't put that in there?"
Ooh.
Also, they were showing people hitting that water, nigga. Like just
they're dead. They're dead.
Dead.
Yeah,
the water's also freezing. The
right.
water was like 1,000% ice. So, It was like below 5,000. You know, it was just some freezing temperature that would
Right.
freeze a human being.
Right,
in
they're done.
minutes.
Once
Yeah.
you're in the water, you're done.
Yes, it's done, man. You're
Yeah.
done. So you know, the people that's happening, and so I remember, when the dude, the dude hits the propeller, another dude jumps off, and then Jack's all like, "Damn, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3." And then finally the lights go out on the ship. Like finally hits that point. And the ship goes like it like breaks in half, and the back part comes all the way up where it's completely vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's dying. Now it's like everybody, people are just falling.
Yeah.
It's just
Done.
death. It's just
Done.
they're just showing people motherfucking dying.
And did Billy Zane make it back onto a boat?
Billy Zane got on like, oh, I can believe I got. So Billy Zane gets on a lifeboat by he grabs this random little girl who's crying. And he goes, "This is my daughter." And the guy goes, "Women and children only." He goes, "I'm all she has, for God's sake." And he goes, all right, get on there, man. And then he gets on there and he immediately gives the girl to some other. But then he gets her back and he's like, he pretends like, shh, 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 like, you know. And then that's how he gets on the motherfucking lifeboat.
That's why he's a billionaire, though.
He survived.
He's a survivor.
That motherfucker did survive. So, so the ship, finally sinks all the way down, and Jack's like, "All right, Rose, hold it." This scene makes no sense.
Right.
They're like literally on the back of the thing as the entire Titanic goes down.
Yeah.
And the only two people on it are,
Jack and Rose.
well, and there's this other like nigga that was drinking that like
Right.
he has no lines, but they like Rose looks over him at one point earlier in the movie and he has a drink.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie she looks over and this nigga's like it's just him like on the thing shaking,
Yeah.
It's just him shaking.
He dies.
I don't know. They don't let you know after that.
Yeah,
So
I
the
believe
ship
that he
goes
lives.
down, and he's like, hold my hand. Whatever you do, keep swimming up. And she has a life preserver. He also does not have a life preserver.
Right.
They get separated for a second, like when it goes under. Like they're trying to swim up, and they get separated. And then when she wakes up, she gets like surface, full pandemonium. Like they pan back, and it's full pandemonium.
Right.
Just
in the water.
in the
Just
water.
people.
Just thousands.
Right.
Thousands of people. Thousands. Pandemonium.
Right.
Right, just, and then like they cut back to her, and she's like, "Jack," she's swimming, looking for Jack, and then a motherfucking dude with no life preserver like grabs her head and just pushes it down to like hold himself up.
Right, because they're just trying to survive.
Yeah,
It's not. There's no.
and so it looks
there's
like
no
it's
chivalry.
it looks like it's over for her ass for a second,
Right.
and then you just see Jack beat the shit out this nigga
In the water.
In the water, Jack
Damn.
hits the nigga like 8 times, like in the face.
So he kills this guy.
Oh, the guy was gonna die,
Oh, that's
but
fair.
Jack made him go out worse.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, not a lot of positives in his story.
not a lot. Yeah,
No,
not a
yeah.
lot. And so, let's see.
I get it from his perspective. He's like, I'm just trying to live. I don't care who this woman is.
Yeah. And so Jack, he does that, and then they swim away. They find the big wooden door.
Oh, the controversial wooden door.
The controversial wooden door. Everybody's like, it could hold two. It couldn't.
Okay, so you're on the side of it couldn't hold Jack.
It definitely couldn't hold Jack because, bro, they both try to get on. Like, so she's on it. He
Right.
gets her on it, and
Right.
then he tries to get on it, and it flips over.
Okay.
So the only thing they could have did is shared back and forth, but that wasn't gonna do shit either. The
No,
water's
'cause
too cold.
The water's too cold.
So the only thing that he could have really did is swim away and maybe try to find something else. But then again, it's like
It's
how
too
he-
much. There's too
if he
many
just-
people.
Well, and if he just swam away, he ain't gonna get back. The
No.
water's too cold. How tired you'd be too. Like, oh my god! By the
Right.
time he found something, he'd have been like, well, now I'm here.
Right, he's been below deck like 3 times, and he was handcuffed like 20 minutes ago.
If I leave this girl, we're probably both gonna die anyway.
Right.
If I leave her, I'm not gonna be with her. So it's like
Right.
I'll just sit right here. So he's in the water, she's in the door. Then they cut back to Kathy Bates' character on.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what's happening with Bates?
Kathy Bates is on a life preserver, and she's shaming all the rich people.
Right.
Like, she's like, hey, those are your husband. Those are your men out there. You're just going to leave them to die. We can go back to this room on the boat. What's wrong with you fucking rich people? You know?
Right.
And then the guy goes, lady, if you don't, you better shut up. He goes, you better shut that hole in your face or I'll shut it for you. Something like that. It's a
Just
great.
grade A misogyny in the
Great.
middle of a tragedy.
No, she goes, he says, look, you guys don't deserve to be on this boat. He goes, it'll be one less on this boat if you don't shut that hole in your face. Like, it was
God.
one of those great lines.
Damn.
It was a good line, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get, dude, they're coming with the zingers.
But then, yeah.
During the sinking.
So they showed that boat who didn't want to help, and then they showed another lifeboat of a guy who was like, all right, I need everybody scooting on this side, so when we go back, we can save people. So they showed like that there weren't going to be people coming back to save them.
Right,
They just kind of let that, that.
Right.
In the end, they cut back to Jack and Rose. a lot of people are frozen to death. Jack's telling her, like, giving her this whole speech about how he's not gonna freeze to death. You know, how he loves her.
Right.
You know, all this like how, like, you know, you're gonna. He said you're gonna grow up and die an old lady warm in your bed, and you're gonna do all the things I say that we said we're gonna do, Rose. You know, and he's like, she's like, you know, because you're never gonna let go. Promise me you'll never let go, Jack. She's like, I'll never let go. I'll never let go. And then the boats come back, and everyone is frozen to death. Like, everyone. And the guy's like, is anyone alive out there? Can anyone hear me? Like, that's his thing. Yeah. Is anyone alive out there? Can anyone hear me? It's just like that, right? Up to thousands of dead bodies. Yeah. It's just... He was like, "Don't hit them, don't hurt them," because they were rolling through the thing. He was like, "Don't hit them," because this guy just really cared.
Yeah,
like,
but not enough in the beginning.
No.
Now that he's safely off, now he cares. Yeah.
So he's back, and he's rolling through the bodies, and you know he sees they cut back to like Rose sees him. Yeah. Rose sees him, and then Rose is like, Jack, and she like her voice is going. She's like, Jack, a boat. And then, like, they're holding hands, and then she's, like, touching him. And then she looks up, and she realizes, like, because this nigga is completely, like, he is blue. Like, blue. He is blue man grew blue. This nigga is blue, dog.
What color
Frozen. He's like a green.
Okay.
But, you know, pretty blue.
All right. That's close to blue.
Yeah.
Right.
This nigga is dead, and then she goes, I'll never let go, Jack. And she kisses him. She's like, I'll never let go. And then she lets go of his hand, and he drowns. He sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah. And then it's the baddest thing where she swims to, like, this other dead guy with a whistle frozen in his mouth, and she rips the whistle out of his mouth, and then she blows it, and they find her. And yeah, they find her. And then they let you know, like, 3,000 people died or some 2,000, some crazy. Or maybe, I don't know.
Right.
But a lot of people. Way too many.
You're right.
Way too many.
Easily avoidable if they didn't want to make the ship look good.
Well, it made for a less good movie.
Well. And a less good reality, I guess.
So, they show, like, so everybody, you know, they save her and all that shit. And then they show Billy Zane. Right? They show Billy Zane, and he's walking around, and now they're like on this big, they've been like rescued by a bigger ship that's heading to America called the Catharta or some shit. Right. And then Billy Zane's like around going on the poor people deck. He's like on the and he's looking for her because he's figuring that's where she's with him in the poor people, and he doesn't find her, right? Because she's like she sees him, but she hides herself. And then she goes, "That's the last time I ever saw him." She's like, "Apparently, he killed himself." Everybody kills himself, and then she goes, she says the 1929 stock market crash happened, and he killed himself. That's what she says. That's what I got. So that's the Billy Zane story.
Fuck Billy Zane.
Yeah, fuck Billy Zane.
Fuck Billy Zane.
Yeah, so she's like what she said, the crash of the 1929 broke him, and he put a pistol in his mouth. That's the line. And then so Rose finally gets to America. It's a shot of her looking at the Statue of Liberty, and then they ask her name, and then. And she's like, Rose Dawson.
Yeah.
Rose Dawson. Of the Boston Dawsons. And he's like, Chippenwood Falls Dawsons, you know. And then so she's like, she's all happy that she's, I guess, a Dawson, and she's remembering him. And then, yeah. And then they cut to old Rose.
Right.
In the present. And she's telling him how, like, and everybody's, like, looking at her like, and then the guy's like, I looked up Jack. There was no record of him. And she's like, no shit. He won the tickets in the poker game. Did you listen?
The whole 3-hour story, motherfucker.
Obviously.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Yeah.
And then she fucking like, she's telling him about how she never told anybody the story about Jack. And she was like, oh, I love this line. She told her daughter, she said, I never even told your grandfather, my ex-husband. And then she was like, why? And she was like, a woman's heart is an ocean of deep secrets.
Ooh, man.
Like, what the fuck? I looked at my girl, I looked at Sam, I was like, who are you?
Also, I wouldn't have used an ocean metaphor to describe a guy who died in an ocean.
Yo, she said, because a woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets. She said, yo, because a woman's heart is a deep ocean of secrets. That's why she's.
And one of those secrets is the fact that my ex-lover's dead body is in that ocean.
And I met him while I was fucking this rich dude that they didn't want to be fucking. Like, oh my, if your grandma started telling you that, you would be like, all right, you know what, grandma, I'm good on this story.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about you just being a hoe and sad and like you couldn't get your shit together. Right. It's really just about like,
Right. And then does the diamond come into play?
So, my nigga. The motherfucking the guy from the beginning, like who was looking for the Hope Diamond in the beginning.
Right.
You know, the Bill Paxton guy.
Right.
He, of course, he's like talking to the Rose's like young granddaughter, and he's like, he learns that it was all about he was searching for the wrong thing. He's like, if I knew it was so much bigger than me, or some stupid shit like that. He's like, the Titanic is one small ship for man, but one
giant ship for mankind, one giant sinking for mankind.
Yeah, he says some shit like that. And then like they picture they go cut to old Rose and like it's slow music playing, and old Rose is walking. So she can't walk. So now she's walking.
She's out of the wheelchair. Because
Love
gave her legs back.
Love gave her legs back. She's walking.
Right.
And she gets to the edge, and then she climbs on top of the thing, like in the movie. She climbs on the edge. Yeah. Oh, this is an old-ass lady on there. She's like 90,000 years old. Man.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out the Hope Diamond, and she throws that shit in the ocean. Throws it in the ocean. And then, yeah.
Do people see her do that?
No. She doesn't like broad of night. Like the middle of the night. And then she goes back to her bed and dies in her sleep. What? And the movie the movie ends with it panning through all of her pictures. It's a really romantic, like a really nice shot. And she did all the things that she said she was gonna do with Jack. Like it's her on a roller coaster, her on a horse in the beach, like her drinking a beer. Like you know what I mean? Like her, like it's like all the things. So it's a really cool shot. And then she dies.
Crazy romantic though.
And then the last shot of the movie is them back at that Titanic scene where she meets Jack at the clock tower before they go off to dance. He's like, so take you to a real party. Yeah. You know, like, and she's walking up the stairs looking at him. He's turned around, and then she turns around, and then they kiss, and then every single person that was in the movie is there, and they're all clapping. And then the movie ends. And then Celine Dion plays. And that's Titanic, my nigga. What the fuck? Yep. What? That's how Titanic ends. Everybody clapping. Oh. And 15,000 suicides.
Oh, what the fuck? Like, my heart, like, I'm so all over the place right now because it's like I see the like romantic, like I feel all like I felt all the romance in that, and then just everyone dies.
Yep.
And they have like this weird sort of lost ending.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, where this is what happened. You know, a dream world.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
That's how it ends.
And she dies. Everyone fucking dies in that movie.
Everyone dies.
Everyone fucking dies.
Well, sadly enough, Ehsan, everyone dies in real life.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I don't know, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, that's when you run down real life for me. That's when you do the plot line of life. Oh my god. Yeah,
though, Titanic's a good ass movie, bro. I watched that shit. I'm telling you, it's a 3-hour movie, and that shit was fire. It was like watching it again today. I was like, the dialogue was great, the romance was great, all the little shit was great, the titties was fire.
Oh man,
yeah, it was good stuff.
Man, I feel like I've gone through like an experience right now. I feel tired. I feel like emotionally invested in this movie that I've never seen.
Well, just put half of your week aside and watch it.
Yeah, put like 3 days aside. Watch, spend a whole 3 hours.
It's worth it. It's good. It's a good film.
Well,
fuck what anybody says, bro. That shit is it's one of the best movies of all time.
Fuck
James Cameron. Fuck what
says.
anybody says, it's one of the best movies of all time. James Cameron, #1 box office movie until he broke his own record with Avatar. It's a reason.
That's impressive.
Titanic, dog. It is that shit, my nigga.
Yeah. So anyone listening who hasn't seen that movie, which is all none of you, get out there. Hey
man, if you haven't seen Titanic, man, and you decided to listen to this, you saw it. You just saw it. Yeah. But watch it again, dog, and you want to hear me talking about it, bro.
Well, I'm gonna go home and watch it and report back. See how right you were.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you guys for if anyone listens. We'll be back next week. Go fuck yourself. Ehsan, anything you want to plug?
No. Just go fuck yourselves.
All right, yeah, guys, go fuck yourselves.
Later.